Hi guys, so welcome to the video. Today we're going to talk through, is Dorian Yates' HITT style of training the best way to build muscle? Is it the best way for me, the best way for you? It obviously worked for him. He's an all-time great, obviously 6-time Olympia. He's got to be within the top 3-4 bodybuilders in history, the greatest British bodybuilder ever, the shadow, an absolute phenom, and someone I've had absolute pleasure to spend a fair amount of time with and train with several times out in Marbella. So I know what it's personally like to actually be put through Dorian's training by Dorian himself. So I feel my point of view is fairly relevant to some degree of this. Also another plug, his book is dope, Dorian Yates from the Shadow. So if anyone who's another Dorian Yates fanboy, just checking it out. So in terms of Dorian Yates' training style, so it's very, very high intensity, low volume. So literally absolute muscular failure with as heavy weights you can do with best form practical. Now, like, how did I find the session with Dorian? So, like, I've done a chest session with him, I've done 2 leg sessions with him, and I've done a back session with him. All of them were hard as nails, and they smashed me. I was pretty sore. Did I feel like I could do more volume? Yes. I feel for me personally, I needed a little bit more volume stimulus. And why is that? Well, perhaps, well, I know I don't. To get the most out of low volume training, you have to be a bit sick in the head. So I can push myself very hard. But really, to maximise it, you have to have the ability to push yourself like beyond all limits. So you've got to be probably vaguely psychotic. And then you've also got to have really the biomechanics and the structure that can deal with the heavy loading and the maximum amount of weight. Whereas necessarily, I don't think my structural biomechanics suit super heavy training constantly. For example, I have very, very flat feet. My lower body, my biomechanics all over the place. On my left shoulder, I've got internal rotations. That's a little bit off. So for example, in the leg sessions when I was with Dorian, I ended up doing a leg press, very, very heavy. And towards the end, I could feel my hamstring starting to pull, I was going to pull off the bone. And actually both the leg sessions I've done with Dorian, I felt my knees play up. So I couldn't actually go and end up doing hack squat. As if you have watched the leg workout video I've got with Dorian, I ended up having to sack off the hack squat because my knee had just gone. Because for me, my body, my structure doesn't necessarily like maximal load for 6 to 10 reps. Now, does this work? Does it build a shit ton of muscle? Clearly 100%. Like with his methodology, you are basically doing the same sort of structured training week in, week out, roughly normally about 4 days of training, low volume in terms of working sets, maybe 10 to 12, but you're looking to try and constantly get stronger every single week. So you get to this point where, like, if your connective tissue isn't particularly strong, that's probably the most likely the first thing to go necessarily, maybe before you reach maximal muscle fatigue. So that's my own personal experience with it and what I find. Where it maybe has certain holes in it for me. I also find with that type of training, I find certain body parts require a little bit more volume and maybe more of a pump effect. Say for example with your shoulders, because your shoulders and deltoids tend to have a very poor blood flow. So I find the best way to try and get them to grow recently, where I've changed all my training, is doing a lot more higher intensity, more volume, supersets, trisets, and that's really helping them try and develop and fill out. In terms of other bits and pieces with the training, is it something you should try? Hell yes, go give it a go. If you've never done low volume training, I'm a massive fan. If you're a beginner, I wouldn't say it's the optimal thing for you to do, because you will not have the ability, which is a skill, to push yourself to absolute muscular failure. So that's where I would think with that. In terms of my personal opinion, I prefer a slightly higher volume approach, more of a longevity approach in terms of not trashing maybe my joints so much so that I don't get injured. And also, to be honest with you, I don't particularly enjoy doing the same structured workout every week. Going in, doing, say for example, incline bench press. Last week it was 140 for 8, and this week I need to try and do more. For me, that's a little bit repetitive, and the most important thing with training is it's fun and that you enjoy it, because whatever you enjoy with your training, chances are you'll work harder into. So these are my thoughts on Dorian Yates style training, whether I think it's right for you, whether it's right for me. It obviously works for him. Drop a comment below what you guys think. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Check out the other Dorian Yates videos. I'll pop them below in the summary. And some great footage there of me getting absolutely smashed. So hope you enjoy the video and let me know your thoughts.